boys and girls, welcome back to again another video, and here today we'll be talking about the conclusion for Advanced Warfare. My goal is to get this out before Black Ops 3 kind of comes out, maybe the day before, so like on Thursday, I guess, and to kind of close out Advanced Warfare in my opinion. Now, I've had a lot of success throughout this year, cannot thank you guys enough for that. And so that's why I enjoyed Advanced Warfare in a way, but this game has probably been like the least most Call of Duty that I've played over this past year. You know, I'm not a big fan of Infinity Ward games. Treyarch's my favorite developer, much like other people as well. But when it comes to just regular games, like what I like to play, I've spent the least amount of time playing this Call of Duty than any other that I've been around for. So starting back in, well, I guess COD 4 kind of, but not. I wasn't like playing it consistently. So against, I guess like Modern Warfare 2. Since then, I haven't been playing games like how inconsistent I was in Advanced Warfare. And something that I want to bring up really quickly, guys, I do apologize for yesterday's video as we get ready to head into this next one. You know, I realized after I made it, actually before, you know, comments and people started, you know, tweeting me and stuff about it, you know, I do apologize. It was a video, for those who might have missed it, it's called a sad announcement. I just talked about how I'm not going to be able to be here for Black Ops 3. This is actually probably one of my final days that you guys are going to see a live video from me. Like, I edited this in hopes that you would see it before I leave, but it was not at all meant to be. I feel really bad, honestly, for the video. I didn't take it down, but I felt really bad about it because I felt like people were thinking that I was like gloating, like I'm gonna be going to Florida, but I have to, like, I'm gonna miss Call of Duty. Like, I didn't want people to think that at all, and it came across the wrong way. And I just really want to ask for you guys' you know, I'm just gonna give you guys an apology about it. I really, honestly feel bad about it, and I didn't want that to be taken the way that it kind of portrayed itself. So I do honestly really apologize for that. Was not my intention by any means, and nothing like that is ever going to happen again. I don't want people to think that I take things for granted, or that, you know, I just have so much stuff so I don't really care. That's not at all what I'm saying, and I don't want people to think that about me through my videos and stuff. So it was just meant to be a joke, but I honestly don't think it should have been. I wish I would have never made the video, but I do apologize about it. So yeah, we just have to live and learn, and I hope that you guys can accept my apology. Honestly, I really do feel bad about it. I'm not just saying that because, like, there'll be times where YouTubers will apologize for something, and you know they're just not genuine about it. They're just saying it to get, like, you know, to get out of it in a way. It's not at all my goal for this. I just honestly want you guys to know that I do feel bad about it. So like I said, let's get into today's video. But yeah, do feel bad. Honestly, my bad, guys. My bad. All right, now we're gonna be talking, like I said, about Advanced Warfare. My thoughts about it. You know, just gonna go over. Like I said, this is my conclusion for Advanced Warfare. We're going to talk about a lot of the things that happened throughout all of AW, my most favorite things, my least favorite things, and so on and so forth. So obviously how Advanced Warfare kind of started out. So I made a video. I think I actually took it down, to be honest, talking about taking down videos. But I actually took down my really old video before I was even on Twitter and stuff like that, talking about my opinions on Advanced Warfare, and I got completely roasted for it. Like, everyone was like, "No, you're wrong. This is not true." And I'm not gloating about myself at all, but I was like, I'm just not a fan of this game. And players will still say that they like this game. I just wasn't a fan. I prefer Call of Duty to be on the ground and remain on the ground the entire time. That's my one big deal about Black Ops 3 that I'm not a fan of, is the, you know, the jetpacks and stuff. It's not as big as Advanced Warfare, but people will still compare it to it. I just wasn't a big fan. I wasn't a big fan of the EXO movement. I wasn't a fan of having to aim up, like aim in every direction, and then losing gunfights to people who, you know, might have EXO'd a little bit better than I was. It wasn't really based on all gun skill. It was based on a new thing for movement, which I had never really experienced before. I mean, there was a little bit of movement in the past, but it wasn't by no means at all even close to what Advanced Warfare brought. It didn't really live up to a whole lot of people's expectations. You know, we went from Black Ops 2, a great season, to Ghosts, and it was just like, you know, this is only gonna happen one time. This is the only time that this is the only time it can happen. Ghosts is gonna be like that one game that we just look at and don't ever reference again. Well, Advanced Warfare was also a little bit similar. You know, I kind of compare Black Ops 2 to Ghosts and Advanced Warfare in the fact that Ghosts, in my opinion at least, was fun to watch but sucked to play. Advanced Warfare was kind of fun to play for some people, but not fun to watch. And Black Ops 2 was both fun to play and both fun to watch. It was just like, you know, it filled a lot of fundamentals that I think were kind of left out. In a way, I also am a big fan of kill streaks, and I think in Ghosts and Advanced Warfare, or score streaks, excuse me. But that wasn't implemented this year either. I was hoping to have like some cool stuff here and there, but no one really used them. This is also a massive year for Roster Mania. As you all know, I do run a Twitter. I hate saying running a Twitter because it's literally my actual Twitter, like it's like a personal one. But I do tweet out roster changes from my Twitter, and that was obviously a massive growth for me for this year. You know, just getting that, making videos, talking about it, and honestly updating the public about what was going on. Because honestly, at times it was literally ridiculous what was happening with all the roster changes. It was like one player's on this team for one event, the next event he's been on like 2 other teams. Like, we've never seen this much roster mania happen in such a short period of time. Like, I think there was one, at least even pre-Black Ops 3, we've had so much roster mania, so many like changes of teams. And the game hasn't even came out yet, at least primarily. Some people have it early, but the game hasn't even came out yet, and teams are already making changes about it. So it's like, I think Advanced Warfare brought that kind of uncertainty where who's going to be good for Black Ops 3, who's going to be good in the latter parts of Advanced Warfare, because there were a lot of guys that came up through this year. There's been like the Hooks, the Temps, the TJs, Octane, Temp. You just look at everyone who's kind of came up through this year. You look at all the, not necessarily veterans, but some really good guys who were good in like Ghosts and Black Ops 2 and even further back who just did not have the game that they wanted to, in particular like Teep and Aches and Merc and so on and so forth. Those guys that we've been watching for years struggling a lot, and we were seeing those younger teams kind of fill in the gaps for them. And that was also kind of weird. I think a lot of people were having a hard time accepting the fact that their player that they enjoyed watching for all these years just wasn't good at Call of Duty. And they kind of questioned, is he just not good at Call of Duty anymore? Or is he just not good at Advanced Warfare? I think it's honestly just the Advanced Warfare part. We went through a lot of struggles throughout this year, just like the amount of, there was obviously like agreements that happened in Ghosts and whatnot, the gentleman's agreement saying, we're not going to run this, we're not going to run that. I think that was why Black Ops 2 was not always so much fun. Like, there were things that were banned, like for instance, the FAL, after they realized how amazing that Clayster and Proofy were with it, they decided to ban it, so you couldn't use it. In Advanced Warfare, in Ghosts especially, we really used like, 2 weapons? I think the Remington and the Vector were primarily the major guns toward the latter part of the game. Obviously, like the MTAR was good for a while and so on and whatnot. But in Advanced Warfare, we really only had 2 guns through the entire year that everyone primarily used. Like the IMR eventually kind of got banned away. People decided to not use it. We saw Overkill. We saw the exo abilities, a lot of them be basically taken out, and also LMGs too. Like, we saw so many interesting things that would have brought, in a way, at least a fresh feel to Advanced Warfare be taken out because it just didn't work out with the game. Whether or not you believe in gentlemen's agreements or not, I'm personally not a fan of them. But players having to kind of step in for what would be like a developer is kind of sad. Like, the players having to make the decisions that the developers should already have under wraps. It's a sad thing to really like take a look at. That's why I'm really excited for Black Ops 3. The pick and ban system, I think, is going to be good. But yeah, like Advanced Warfare, it was a good game. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed everything that I had. The casting and stuff was great. I enjoyed and loved casting this game. It was my first game, so I can't really compare it to anything else. But it was very fast paced. It was very hard to kind of give strategy behind what was going on, because honestly, there wasn't a whole lot of strategy. Like, for instance, in other titles, as Ghost and Black Ops 2 especially, I know I keep relating these 3 games around and around and around, but whenever you look at those games, every kill really mattered. Like, for instance, if you get a 2-piece, that was massive in hardpoint or even domination, because those players are now spawning out. In Advanced Warfare, you kill 2 people, they're right behind you to kill you back. Like, it was literally like you would kill someone, and then you would run 2 seconds like some other way, and then you'd kill someone else again. Like, there was always gunfights going on, and so it was impossible to keep up. So trying to like basically provide commentary for 14 or 15 kills going down every 30 seconds, that ultimately did matter, but it was like, I compare it to like playing basketball, for instance. Let's just say basketball or even football, whatever you guys really want to play. There's one ball involved. There's gonna be one ball involved. Imagine having like 3 or 4 just going around at all times. Like basketball, you have one ball. Obviously, there's the offense, the defense, and so on and so forth. Well, imagine having like 4 or 5 basketballs just going on in an NBA game, or having in soccer or football, for other countries and stuff. Imagine having like 4 or 5 footballs going around everywhere. Like, that would be insane. That's exactly how I would kind of compare Advanced Warfare to it in a way. Like, you cannot keep up, and while there is strategy to, obviously, if you were to have that many different things going on, it was so hard to kind of keep it contained and kind of bring it to a wraps and say, that was a big play because of this. And then once you say that, there's 4 or 5 other things going on that you just missed completely that could have ultimately made it more entertaining, I guess you could say. So I think Advanced Warfare was a pretty good game. I'm not going to give it like a grade or anything like that. If anything, a C+. No, that was a joke. But we obviously had a lot of different stuff go down, like the CTF being taken out of the rotation because of how bad the spawns were. It's like, we shouldn't have to deal with that stuff. Like, we shouldn't have to deal with all of the bad things that go on in the game. The developers should realize and take into fact that, hey, this is a problem, this is an issue, let's fix it. But we, being the Call of Duty community, but us being the competitive Call of Duty community, you know, we realize these things a lot quicker than everyone else does. You know, we're gonna, you know, reach things quicker than everyone else will. We're gonna realize the guns that are good, the maps that are good, and so on and so forth. So it's hard for us to kind of, like I said, step in as the developer for something that they already should have done. And I feel like that's what Advanced Warfare really was for a major part of the year, which is kind of unfortunate. Like I said, the amount of roster changes that went down. I mean, I can talk about everything that really went on. Like, I think every player, for the most part, probably left the team, went to another team. I think there were a couple players who stayed on the same team throughout all of Ghosts. I mean, you can look at the Optic lineup besides Nate Shot. I mean, you can look at Sharp from TK, I think Chino from Rise, and I know there's others as well. But it was very, very hard to kind of stay on a stable team because this game was ever changing. You never knew what was going to go on. But I think the one thing that really made the game exciting, the reason why it was as fun to watch as some people might say it was, or might say it was in a way, was the current rivalry, the constant rivalry going on between Optic Gaming and FaZe. Obviously, Optic Gaming and FaZe throughout the entire year. The first event really set the kind of how everything would work out for the rest of the year. In a sense, you know, FaZe winning that first event, coming in 2 best of 5s against OG, really like lit the fire underneath them to say, hey, we need to focus, we need to, you know, work as a squad together, and that would ultimately just basically tick them off until, you know, a couple of events later at COD Champs, where obviously they would finish 7th. It was just like a story tale throughout the entire year where FaZe started off really well and they ended really well, and Optic Gaming really dominated like the middle of the game in a way. You know, OG never actually beat that FaZe team. I know Optic Gaming fans hate hearing that, and FaZe fans really love hearing that, but it was an interesting rivalry. Regardless of what side you're on, or if you don't even like these two teams, you have to admit, we saw some amazing series throughout this entire year. Uplink also was a fantastic thing that was added, and I would prefer it to stay on Advanced Warfare, at least for right now. As much as I played Black Ops 3, Uplink wasn't a fan of it, but Advanced Warfare I think is its primary home and where it should stay at. But regardless of that, you know, I think honestly the Optic Gaming and FaZe rivalry really made the game that much more exciting. You know, COD Champs was fun to watch. MLG World Finals was fun to watch. We never got to see the Optic Gaming versus FaZe Grand Final to kind of close it out. It was still a good year, still a great year. You know, we did lose a little bit of viewership. We didn't even have 100,000 viewers at the end of Advanced Warfare because I think people were just excited to kind of get this game out of the way. You know, we saw little things here and there. You know, we saw MLG.TV be implemented and stuff like that. Kind of more. And we saw the Pro League also develop. It's a great thing, honestly. The Pro League was a fantastic thing. Had some issues, obviously. You know, acquiring different sponsorships caused, you know, players to have internet issues and stuff. But, you know, with adding extra things, obviously causes for extra problems. So, you know, as far as Advanced Warfare goes, to kind of close out this video, thought it was a fun game. Honestly, cannot thank you guys so much for the support that you've shown me throughout all of AW. This is by far, and can't even compare to any other years that I've had on Call of Duty talking about anything. And you know, that's really what not like made my way throughout this entire game, but made me enjoy it probably more than most people. But, you know, like I said, it wasn't a fun game for me, in my opinion, to play, but it was, in some ways, entertaining to watch at certain times whenever Optic Gaming and FaZe were playing, or whenever it was just a good series in general. I really, really loved watching this game for the most part. But like I said, we have Black Ops 3 coming up literally tomorrow, and I cannot wait to get that game in my hands, start playing it, PS4 and stuff like that. Like I mentioned in my last video, like I said, already, I mean, I know we went over that in a way, but I cannot wait to just play that game, just to grind it out and find out everything that's going to happen. I can't wait to cast over that game, whether I cast the lands or not, which I really hope to be doing, or even casting the World League. I'm going to be studying this game like no other, and literally grinding it out. As much as players are playing it, I'm going to be grinding out that way, but in casting, if that makes any sense. I'm going to do my very best to do something like that. So guys, that's kind of my conclusion for Advanced Warfare. I'm not asking for you guys to like say, oh my gosh, you know, I hate this game, Advanced Warfare, in the comments like that. I wouldn't really prefer that, but if you guys want to talk about Advanced Warfare in the chat, what you think would have made it better, why Ghost in some of people's opinions was better than AW, or why you enjoyed AW more than some people might think, let me know down in the comments as well. But guys, if you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like and let me know, like I said, down in the comments what you guys thought. And that's gonna kind of do it for this video. Thank you all for so much for watching. Let's have some fun for Black Ops 3, and that has been my conclusion of Advanced Warfare. Take it easy and have a fantastic day. Peace out.